I've confronted hundreds of men over 2 decades. Men online looking for children to sexually assault.
Well, Cody, I'm Chris Hansen.
I know who you are.
I tried to get into their heads and understand why. But you have it on your phone.
That's true.
And ultimately, make sure they face justice.
Can I just give you some money and leave?
I don't want money. I want the truth.
These are the predators I've caught. I'm Chris Hansen. Imagine living in a small town and you go into the grocery store once or twice a week and you have an interaction with the grocery store manager. Nice guy, 37 years old, single. You don't know much about him, but you interact and you pay him no attention. But you find out that that man is actually a stone-cold predator, living in that community, interacting with people every day, watching children come and go from the grocery store, driving around town, getting on the internet. What do you really know about this guy? Well, in the case of Joseph Ross, we now know a lot because Joseph surfaced during one of our predator sting operations, one of our takedown investigations in October 2024 in Marquette County, Michigan. We would learn that Joseph had a porn addiction going back to the age of 11 or 12 years old. This is by his own admission. And that he was obsessed. He had gone into treatment therapy for this porn addiction when he was about 18. He went a few times, he told me, and then said, I don't need this anymore. Well, he should have stayed. Because his fantasies, his fetishes, suddenly became younger and younger and younger. And in this particular case, he told the decoy he wanted her to wear a thong, a sports bra. He wanted her to have pigtails. When told that the girl was 15, he said, I'm A-okay with that. A-okay. And then, on top of all that, we find out that Joseph had worked as a cook on a Great Lakes cruise ship, which means he was traveling all around. Cities in Michigan, cities in Indiana, cities in Wisconsin, Chicago, all the rest. And all the while, he's a predator. He's going online. He's setting up sexual liaisons. Now, he says that none of them were with anybody underage, but he sure set up a liaison with somebody underage in this sting, and we caught him. We've also learned that Joseph had a previous criminal history. Now, he tried to whitewash this during our interview, which you'll hear in just a moment. But apparently he was dating a woman in northern Michigan, in the Marquette area, who was a bit of a local celebrity. She was a dog sled competitor. And if you know anything about northern Michigan, when you go way up north in the Upper Peninsula, dog sled races are a big deal. And she had apparently been on the circuit competing. And in fact, every year Marquette has a huge dog sled race. It's an important part of that community. You know, it snows a lot in the wintertime up there. You're right with Lake Superior on one side and Lake Michigan on the other. And it's a big event. And apparently Joseph was dating this championship dog sled woman. And when they broke up, apparently he had some sexually explicit pictures of her that he had taken. And he decided to share them online, which became a stalking charge. Now, Joseph got in trouble for that. In fact, he did 9 months in the county jail, right there in Marquette. Ironically, where he was taken, that same county jail, after his arrest in our sting. More on that in just a moment. So the Marquette County Sheriff's Office, led by Sheriff Greg Zybert and his team, had a pretty good background on him already. 9 months he served in the county jail. He got out, stayed out of trouble as far as we know for 6 or 7 months, and then, well, he became the topic of a takedown investigation. The chat was straight to the point, and it was very disturbing. We see this from time to time. You know, guys bring up things like gangbangs. He asked a 15-year-old girl, or someone he thought was a 15-year-old girl, if she would be open to a gangbang. He asked, how much do you want to be a little fuck slut? He asked how many guys she could handle at one time. Now, there is no evidence that he had gathered other men to take part in this gangbang, but it raises concerns for a lot of reasons. One, there are members of our world who would do this. Two, what if he shows up with 5 or 6 violent guys and we've got to deal with that? Sheriff's got to deal with that. And it also appears that at the same time he was chatting with our decoy, he had a separate conversation with another decoy in the same investigation, leading investigators to believe that maybe he was trying to put together some sort of orgy to satisfy a fetish, a fantasy. Lieutenant Alex Gill fills me in on the texts, the conversation so far.
I said, he's local, he's in Marquette, he could be here in 20. He's 37. Hope you're fine with my fetish. What's your fetish? I said, older men. He goes, can I call you just to hear your voice?
Now, the chat wasn't that long. It was very graphic, but it wasn't that long. And then Joseph placed a phone call to our on-site decoy.
Hi,
Hello.
what's up?
Nothing. You just wanted to hear my voice?
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're like legit and everything.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% real.
Okay, what would you like to do? I guess is the question too.
I just want to fuck.
You just want to fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your availability like? How long are you in town?
I'm here until Sunday morning.
How many times would you like to play?
As many times as you're willing.
Okay, is there a price for that or?
I don't get the impression as I'm listening to this conversation that this is the first time Joseph has sought sex online.
Whatever you think.
I mean, like, how much do you want to be like a little fuck slut?
I'll take 500 for the night.
For the night. It's a possibility. I mean, like, what are your limits though?
I'm willing to try anything.
Would you even do like a gangbang?
Sure.
How many cocks do you think you can handle?
Can you imagine somebody saying this? I mean, I've been doing this a long time. March will mark 22 years of predator investigations. But I'm still shocked at when somebody says something like this to a child. More about this predator I've caught in a moment.
Finally here,
Oh my god.
the official Chris Hansen merch store. Now you can join the mission with official Chris Hansen merchandise, hoodies, tees, mugs, stickers, and more. Shop the full collection at haveaseat.dashery.com.
As many as you want to try and bring over.
What kind of like sexy clothes do you have?
I have a variety of things, but if there's something specific, you can bring it to me.
Okay. What do you have for like a bikini top though, or do you just have a sports bra?
I just have a sports bra.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm kind of young, if that's okay.
That's A-okay.
Okay, I'm 15.
That's messed up.
Messed up? Joseph, what you're doing is what's messed up. And now Joseph starts to get a little anxious, like maybe this is a sting operation.
You gonna report this shit to the police or what?
No, I'm just looking for a good time. And I don't want to get in trouble either.
Do you have like the house to yourself or?
Yeah, I have a whole Airbnb to myself.
Where's like your guardian or whatever?
My dad dropped me off yesterday and he's going hunting. He's been drunk all day.
Are you like willing to meet like outside of like in public anywhere?
I can't drive. You just have to come see me.
Yeah, he wants to get her to go to another location so he can control the situation. He's a little hinked out about walking into a strange house, and he should be.
I just meant like a gas station or anything.
I can't get there.
Are you like out in the boonies or?
No, I'm in a city, but the gas station's kind of far away to walk. And I can't drive.
Are you wearing a thong right now?
No,
Do you have a thong with you?
I'd have to look.
Like, I'm horny as fuck, but that sketches me out, I'll be honest.
Well, like I said, I'm not here to get anyone in trouble. I'm just looking for a good time.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
14.
And you're just looking for dick?
Yeah.
Is it possible to send a face pic to me?
I don't want a full face pic. I'll do a half face pic for you. I don't want my pictures online. I've been burned too many times.
Okay. Send me that and then the address.
Joseph doesn't seem to realize, but being a horny AF doesn't get him out of this. It's not a good excuse. It certainly isn't a good excuse for committing a crime against a child.
Okay, well, I want to make sure you're coming though. So, when you get to Ishpeming, let me know, and I'll send you the address.
I'm on my way up that way. I can be there in 15-20. Send the address. I'm on my way.
Okay.
But he throws his worries, his fears, any caution to the wayside because he thinks he's going to get to fulfill his fantasy, a fantasy that's been built upon years of viewing pornography, being addicted to pornography, buying sex online, and in spite of getting into trouble, as he did for sharing intimate pictures of his girlfriend, his former girlfriend, he's going to roll the dice. Now, he's on probation, right, as all this is happening. So they're going to smack him if he gets caught. Now, he knows that there's a possibility this is a sting. He raises that. It will turn out that he has seen my shows before, that he will recognize me, and you'll see and hear about this shortly. But yet he rolls the dice. He takes the chance to fulfill this fantasy. He's addicted, but that doesn't make it any less a crime.
If you send a face pic, I'll be on my way.
Okay.
Right, bye.
Bye.
Wow. Everybody in the Sting House is pretty blown away by this. I mean, just so brazen.
That happened very quick. We've been talking for about maybe 10 minutes. He says he's 37. He's into fetish play. I told him that I hope he's into my fetish, which was older men.
Right.
And he just transitioned into immediately, I want a phone call.
It seemed like this guy was interviewing the 15-year-old girl, which indicates he's either just getting his fantasy off by the conversation, or he's really into this and he's going to be here in 15, 20 minutes.
He was very, even in the chat, very like, let's do this now. I don't know if he's got plans tonight, but he wanted to get up here as quick as possible, and he was
very eager. Now, occasionally in our stings, we come across men like Joseph who play out the fantasy online in the conversation. It gets really graphic, really specific, very disturbing, but they don't show up. They get off on the conversation, but they don't show up in our sting. So for a minute, we start to think, well, maybe Joseph isn't going to show up. Maybe he was just, getting off on the conversation, living out his fantasy that way. But Joseph was serious, all right, because right on time, we see him pull up.
No, there's no one home.
He is greeted at the door by the on-site decoy, who in fact has pigtails, wearing short shorts. And he thinks he's gonna be just fine here. He thinks this is all gonna work out. He's got money in his pocket. Now, they talked about $500, but he only brought $150. And he's gonna try to make this work. Now, he starts off being rather polite. He takes off his shoes. Why muddy up the carpet when you're on your way to rape a child, right?
So what's up?
Nothing. So, did you bring the money?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
He's a little awkward, socially inept, but he knows what he wants, all right. Pulls out the money, puts it on the coffee table.
How much is there?
$150.
Okay. How long do you want to, what do you want to do?
What are you feeling up to? I don't want to.
Anything. I'm down for anything.
And now, face to face with the girl, he's going to try to act like he's going to be considerate. I don't want to do anything you don't want to do. What are you comfortable with? She's 15, Joseph.
Are we doing it here? Is there like a bedroom?
There's the bedroom, or we can do it on the couch, or anywhere you want to go.
What do you want to do?
Anything. But you want me to go? I'll go change and you can stay here. I'll be right back upstairs. I just have to go change.
What are you changing into?
I can put a bra on, or what do you want?
Sports bra?
Sports bra? Yeah, I got a sports bra.
You got a thong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You can just stay right here and I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah.
But Joseph's not going to see his child dream date in a thong and a sports bra. He's going to meet me in a black turtleneck and a bad attitude.
If what you've heard shocks you so far, join us back in a moment.
If you're a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, and file it with the county. And just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity or even sell your property, and you won't even know about it until foreclosures or collection notices show up in the mail. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Hansen, Hansen, at HometitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Hansen, Hansen, or click the link below.
How you doing?
Good. What was your plan here today?
Can I leave?
Can I leave? He wants to know. No, Joseph, you cannot leave. You cannot.
No, you cannot. Stay right there. You don't want to go anywhere. I need to talk to you.
What's your name?
Joe,
And Joe, how old are you?
37.
37.
Joe knows he's cooked. And I get the sense that if I handle this properly, he will talk to me and be honest. And there's some bullshit in there, no question. But, you know, they always try to minimize the crime that they wanted to commit. But, yeah, I would say he's probably going to be 75% honest as he tells his story.
And what brought you here today?
Lonely.
Lonely? Just explain it to me. I'm trying to understand. I'm not trying to be accusatory. I'm not trying to rough you up here. I just want to understand the sequence of events that brought you here today.
I sit back, take a slightly softer stance towards him in my interviewing, and it works.
I was looking online to play.
To play, and what do you mean by play, Joe?
Using words like play is what I mean when these guys try to minimize what they were doing. What he meant to say, or what he really means, is he was there to have sex with a child. Play.
Sex.
Obviously. Yes.
Okay. Will you set that money just on the pizza box there and keep your hands where I can see them while we chat? All right, good. You talked to somebody online and on the phone, and you were pretty graphic about what you wanted to do. And again, I'm trying to understand, Joe, what led you here. Have you ever done this before? Never.
No.
Because it didn't sound like your first time, Joe.
I used to do a job where I traveled a lot.
Joe's going to talk to me about his job working as a cook on the passenger liners in the Great Lakes. And the story he shares is this one of a single guy being lonely and going to different areas to find sex online. And so, he claims that none of those experiences were with underage girls, but we don't know.
And there was a page called Backpage, which was like Craigslist. I found a different site, obviously, and that led me to looking for ads.
Looking for ads to find somebody
to play with, yes.
To have sex with.
Yeah.
And how many times had you met women online before for sex?
2 or 3.
2 or 3. Right here in Michigan?
No. Indiana.
Indiana.
And once in Minnesota.
And in Minnesota. And were any of those women underage? Were they girls?
No.
How old were they?
Early 20s.
Early 20s. And how did those encounters go for you?
Actually, a business transaction, and no problem.
You paid the money, you got what you wanted.
Yes, sir.
No muss, no fuss.
Pretty much, yeah.
But this case, Joseph, is different because this case involves someone who told you she was 15. And Joseph, you know this is wrong, it's illegal, and could harm a child for the rest of her life. But here you are, Joseph. Here you are. And then we get into this porn addiction. I've said this before, and I'm convinced it's true. There is very definitely a link between addiction to porn, especially child porn, and offending with children.
In the conversation over the phone, she tells you that she's 15.
And I got sketched out really, really, really bad.
You say to her, that's messed up.
That is.
But yet you continued to talk about having sex with her. It almost seems as though that age excited you.
In all honesty, it did not. But
that's not the way it sounded.
That's fair. I give you that. I know as foolish as it's going to sound, I was more excited to play, if you will.
Why did you ask her if she was willing to do a gangbang?
She sounded eager. She sounded like she wanted to learn. And I made a mistake.
A mistake?
Uh,
A mistake is driving 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. This is
wrong.
getting involved.
Was wrong.
This is horrific.
It is. 100%.
Asking a 15-year-old girl if she wants to do a gangbang? Were you going to bring buddies over here?
No, I was not. I have no friends in town as we speak.
Well, why do you even ask that question?
I
then?
don't.
And I don't know isn't a good answer.
No, you're right. I have a porn addiction. I will admit that I have a porn addiction. I got addicted to porn when I was probably 11, 12 years old. If being straight up
I want to hear it all. Tell me.
Kids in today's world have porn in their pocket. Who knows what she's explored? If you want me to be honest, I'm being honest.
I do. But asking her if she would do a gangbang, which I presume
if
means
anything,
multiple guys.
If anything, it was indulging in my own fantasy.
Your own fantasy.
And not with how eager she sounded on the phone.
Right. So you were going to see how far this 15-year-old girl was willing to go.
Not acting on it, but in my mind, like, what did she want to do?
And what was it about a gangbang that excited you so?
It's the eagerness. It's the attention. I see the cameras here.
Okay. We'll get to that in a moment.
And now, at this point in the interview, Joseph sees one of our hidden cameras. And he's starting to do the math as to exactly who I am. But he doesn't run, he doesn't duck, he doesn't hide. He stays right there on the couch to finish the interview.
Tell me about this porn addiction and how it led you here today.
I've pretty much indulged in porn almost every day of my life to some extent. I've tried to seek help, and as dumb as this sounds, when I've met with a counselor, I feel like they didn't even want to listen.
Deflect, defer, defend. That's what predators do. The counselor didn't want to listen to me, didn't want to help me. The girl seemed experienced. I just wanted to see how far I could take this. Sure, it was wrong. She was only 15, but, I've got a porn addiction, a fantasy to live out. And then I asked him about one of his requests earlier on to show her belly button. And he comes up with a convoluted excuse that he only asked for that because, gosh, to ask for anything more graphic from a 15-year-old would be wrong. No points for being a good guy, Joseph.
You asked for a pic of her belly button.
It was a way to be verifiable. I'm not going to ask a 15-year-old to send nudes. I just thought the belly button was fair, I guess, if that makes sense. I know it doesn't, but I'm not going to ask her to flash or to hold on her pants, but I just thought the belly button was fair.
Innocent.
Thank you.
It's not that innocent, Joe.
No, it's not.
You asked her to put her hair in pigtails. It's almost like you wanted her to become even younger looking and vulnerable than she already was.
It's a look that I like.
And then it becomes clear to me in this interview that, as if 15 wasn't bad enough, he was trying to get the girl to look even younger to fulfill a fantasy. And what does he say to me? It's a look that I like.
That sounds absolutely disgusting, and I didn't mean it as more premature. It's just going back to the porn look, it's the schoolgirl fantasy. It's
And you wanted her in a thong. And you're chatting with other women about sex online. And you don't even know how old they are. So it seems to me that if I wasn't here and a real 15-year-old girl was, you would have been having sex with her by now. And I have heard nothing to indicate that I'm wrong. So if you have something else, I'd like to hear it.
there is no excuse for my behavior.
And that's the most honest thing that Joseph has said. I should go away for a very, very long time. And thankfully, he is going away. Maybe not long enough, but he's going away. But I'm still going to tell him exactly who I am and what I'm doing, and even though I get the sense he's figured it out already.
All right, Joe. Well, there's something you need to know.
Chris Hansen with
Take down with Chris Hansen.
That's right. Before I can say my name, he says it for me.
Have you seen the shows before?
I have.
And what have you thought of those shows?
I can't say this for myself, but I appreciate, obviously because of the situation that I'm in, but I appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you.
And Joe tells me he appreciates what I do. Now, like many predators, they separate themselves from the others. What I did wasn't that bad, but I'm glad you got the other really bad guys. But now I've got Joseph too.
And I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but you do yourself a good, you bring a good I don't want to say product's not the right word, but you're doing a very honorable service.
Well, I appreciate that.
An honorable service indeed, Joe. And now it's time to talk to the sheriff's department. Joe was charged with several felonies and immediately locked up. He got no bail because he was on probation. And just last September in 2025, he pleaded guilty to accosting a child for immoral purposes and child sexual abusive activity. In December of 2025, he was sentenced on the first count to 2 years in prison, and on the second count, 4.5 years in prison to be served consecutively. When he gets out, if he gets out, he'll be on probation again and have to register as a sex offender. We should not see him for at least 6 years on the streets. Maybe now he'll really get some help for his porn addiction. I like to know as much about the predators I've caught as I can before they show up at the sting house. And the tool that I use is one that can be very useful to you as well. Truth Finder. It allows me to run a name, an age, and a location through the truthfinder.com database and determine a lot about this person's background. This is your weekly Truth Finder update brought to you by our friends at truthfinder.com. Obviously, we knew from our investigation that he had been arrested, in our case, and that he had been in trouble for sharing sexually explicit pictures of his girlfriend. But we wanted to dig further, so we put his name through Truth Finder. We found out that, in fact, well, he had a couple touches with the law. Once in Florida, driving without a license. Once in Florida, driving with a suspended license. Another time in Wisconsin for following too closely an automobile, a driving infraction, and once for drinking underage. Truthfinder works for me and it can work for you. For more information, go to truthfinder.com/predators.
More of our story in a moment.
As you know, I like to hear from you, and this week's question comes from Alan in West Virginia.
Hi, Chris. This is Alan from West Virginia. I'm a big fan of your shows and been watching your predator investigation programs from the very beginning. I heard that you said that the wife of the 72-year-old man that you took down in Maryland has attacked you pretty hard on social media. So my question is, what do you say to people who actually defend these creeps and blame you for their situation instead of the actual creeps themselves? Also, do you still keep in contact with any of your former NBC colleagues? Once again, keep up the good work, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate you listening and paying attention to all of this, and I appreciate your question. Yeah, it's quite something, right, when the family of a predator blames me for their predicament. Look at the transcripts. Look at the video. I think we all know who is to blame. And I have not heard any more from the wife of the 72-year-old man who showed up in our Maryland investigation to meet a child for sex. She brought beer. He had taken a male enhancement pill on his way over. Very graphic chat. He's facing serious charges now. And at some point, his wife is going to figure out exactly what he did. But we've heard no more from her. Alan, in terms of my old friends at NBC, yes, I do stay in touch. All the guys who are doing Dateline, Josh, Dennis, Keith, good folks. And they do a good job over there. I see them at CrimeCon, usually at least once a year. Thanks for checking in, Alan, and thanks for supporting all my work. You can find me all over social media at Chris Hansen on X, official Chris Hansen on Instagram, Have a Seat with Chris Hansen on TikTok, Cameo should you desire, this podcast, and Have a Seat with Chris Hansen, which drops every Wednesday. We've been interviewing a lot of interesting people, some of whom are tied into the Epstein investigation. You want to check that out. And you can find me on my streaming crime network, True Blue. Watch trueblue.com for details. New predator investigations, the takedown investigations drop every single Thursday. And now we have our documentary, part one of our documentary, Dangerous Games, is out. You must see this. It's one of the most important things I've worked on in the last couple of years. It's about predators exploiting children on the gaming platform Roblox, the wildly popular Roblox. And we spent a lot of time digging into this and talked to a lot of people. You must see it, especially if you have children, nieces, nephews who play this game. It's important. Watch trueblue.com. It's out now. There will be another hour of the documentary coming out afterwards, and probably an hour after that. We're going to have more documentaries as well. So not only will we have the takedown episodes, but we'll have a lot of exciting content coming out. Watch trueblue.com. And as always, you can find me right here at chris@predatorpodcast.com. Send me your questions. I appreciate the ones that are written, but I really enjoy hearing your voice. I know it takes a few extra minutes. It's a little bit complicated, but I really, truly value the interaction. So record your question and we'll answer it here. I'll be watching and listening.